rampant in our country, which tears us apart and silences rational debate. It gets him pretty riled up, as many people, I'm sure. So as Samuel L. Jackson would say, hold on to your butts. His speech is titled, Politics, What Happened to the Spectrum. Welcome, Paul.
Thank you, Courtney. If you are pro-choice, you are a baby murderer. If you are pro-life, you hate women. If you think we should have more welfare programs, you're a socialist. If you think we should have fewer welfare programs, you're just a heartless bastard. If you think we should have a tougher stance on immigration, you're racist. If you think we should be looser on immigration, well, you're an anarchist who hates America. These are issues that have been around for a while, but let's take a new one that comes up, coronavirus, something that is seemingly very apolitical, but it gets sucked into the political arena and it gets spit back out as something that you need to have an opinion on. Either the entire thing is just an overblown scam, or it's the worst thing humanity has ever faced. Obviously, this isn't new. It would be ignorant of me to say that this is the most politically divisive time in our lives or in the history of the country. And that's not true. We had the Civil War, and that was a very politically divisive time. But the difference is that now we should know better. We have so much education and so much information available to us that we don't need to think like this. Now, full disclosure, I am not a psychologist. I am not a sociologist. I'm just a person who has a few opinions on the matter. And I have a few thoughts on what the root causes of this problem are. And the way I kind of want to do this speech was I'm going to present what I think are some of the root causes, as well as some solutions to these problems, or at least something of a start to a solution. And I don't want to blame the media here. I think that's an easy scapegoat. They are obviously not helping the situation, but the real problem is how we allow the media to manipulate us and how we think. So I'm going to explain what I think are three problems that we're facing. And the first is what I call the concept of the other. And that is to think of other groups of people, to categorize them, and to think of them as just one-dimensional creatures, some homogeneous group. And you know everything that they're thinking. Maybe there was a time that this was helpful. You know, let's say back when we were in tribes and a tribe next door, maybe they really did have it out for us. But in the 21st century, I don't think we need to think like this. I know it's so easy to do it. It's easy to just categorize people, but it's also incredibly dangerous. Throughout history, it's been used to oppress people and to make war on other people. Just look at World War II, how the Germans portrayed the Jews, how the Japanese portrayed the Chinese, how the Americans portrayed the Japanese. It's one of the oldest tricks in the book. And what are some of my solutions to this problem of the other? I think, first of all, we just need to recognize how diverse other people are, and that everyone is really much deeper than you would like to think that they actually are. And secondly, I think it's important that we focus not on our differences as people, but our similarities. Because really, for the most part, we are much more similar than we are different. Yet we spend all of our time just focusing on the small differences that we have. The second major problem that I see is echo chambers. I think that it's human nature to surround yourself with people who have similar views. But sitting there and listening to people tell you what you already think does not help you grow as a person. It doesn't educate you. It's just pleasure seeking and intellectual masturbation is all that it is. And here are some suggestions I have for some solutions. First is just to seek out information that you don't agree with. Turn on a news station that you know is different to what your opinions are. Find an author that you don't agree with. Read about it. Listen to it. It's hard. It'll get under your skin, but it will really help you grow. Other thing I think we can do is we really need to revive the lost art of debate. Find people that you don't agree with and have a civil debate with them. It doesn't solve all of our problems, but it gets us closer to understanding one another and hopefully getting towards something that might be closer to the truth. The final problem that I think we have is this feeling that many people have that they need to know. Again, I think it's human nature that you want to be knowledgeable and you want to be informed and you want to know things. The three examples that I started with, abortion, welfare programs, immigration, what do these things all have in common? They are incredibly complex issues and very nuanced. But it's much easier to just think of them in black and white. But the truth is that the world is very complicated, and if you really want to find truth and knowledge, you have to work at it. But at the end of the day, people are lazy, and it's just much easier to have somebody tell you, that's what you think. And boom, there you are. You are now informed. So what is my solution to that problem? It's really simple. Just three magic words. I don't know. It's okay. Be comfortable with saying that you don't know. It's not a big deal. You can say, I haven't formed an opinion on that yet. Can you help me? Can you help me better educate myself so I can understand better? There's nothing wrong with not knowing. So in conclusion, here are the three problems that I've identified. The concept of the other, echo chambers, and our desire to know. And what are some things that you can do to help overcome some of these problems? I think the first thing to do is just to start listening to news or people that you don't agree with. If you're feeling extra brave, then maybe this week you can strike up a discussion with somebody you know that you don't agree with on most things. I just did that myself this week with a family member who has very different views than I do, and I am amazed at how much I've learned in just this short amount of time. And I highly suggest you try it out for yourself as well. Thank you.